Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for our September convening. I'm sorry, October. Look at me pushing us back in time as it flies to November. It is October. This is our October convening. We appreciate you being here and ask that you use the link in the chat to let us know that you are here with us. We're going to go ahead and get started by going over our agenda. As usual, we say hello, affirm the organization. We have our coffee shop. Today we'll have a principal panel where they will discuss the best ways to partner. We'll have our BRAYN announcements, community announcements, and then say goodbye for now. I am going to turn it over to Cindy Bonin from the Gardeer Initiative. She is also the co-chair for the Convening Working Group. As Amber Alexis says, the Convening Working Group. We are the best. Cindy, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you, Jasmine. Good morning, everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful morning so far. At the beginning of our meetings, we always want to affirm BRAYN. So BRAYN is a network for youth organizations that provide one or more of the following: after-school youth programming, summer youth programs, and/or wrap-around support services for youth. BRAYN's goals are to build the youth services field to improve how communities and schools can work together to create more equitable outcomes for youth in the long term, and increase youth engagement in high-quality out-of-school opportunities. The three principles of practice are community. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. The quality of our relationships and trust matter. Move at the speed of trust. Collaboration, we can fight for the scraps that fall off the table, or we can build a bigger table together. Collaboration builds that big table. Consensus. This process requires us to slow down, take time to build shared understanding, and value equity in decision-making. Now I'll turn it back to you, Jasmine, for our coffee shop.
Thank you so much, Cindy. Yes, we always want to remember why and how we do this. And so today, as we prepare for our panelists, we want to first network, socialize, see what's going on in your organizations and what resources you need. So as Forrest works to put you in breakout rooms, we will just sit and wait patiently. You have Bobby, Cindy, and Lauren that will be facilitating the breakout rooms. So I will see you soon. Thank you so much, Convening Working Group. All right, it looks like we are all back in the main room. And so if we can just take a few moments and have the facilitators one by one share a little bit about what's going on with the organizations that you had the chance to talk with. Let's start with Bobby.
Hey, so I had a chance to talk with Josh from YMCA. We talked about some of the things we have going on and some of the things that we're doing. He shared with me about, and I know I'm dealing with this, so it was good to hear somebody else is dealing with this, trying to get this 2024 finances and things in order so you can have everything ready for 2024. And then he also shared me about a project that they're doing on North Foster that's about 15 months that is building apartments that'll be over there that they have going on. That'll be very, very cool once that come to fruition. But that's pretty much what we talked about.
All right, thank you so much, Bobby. And what about you, Cindy?
Yeah, our group had a lot of good things to say. Dr. Calandra Robinson shared that she's been having people come in and teach the kids about different careers. And a need is that people with more vocational skills like plumbers, electricians, all of those. If you guys know of anybody, send them to her with the Learning Tree Academy so that they can go and just talk to the youth about what they do. And Yeah, that's the one I wanted to highlight, but we always need more people working with our young people, and lots of good programming going on.
Great. Thank you so much, Cindy. And Lauren, what about in your breakout room?
We had a great conversation. Katrina from Breck, we talked about staffing. So if anybody knows anybody who wants a job, Breck is hiring part-time and full-time positions. And we just talked about how things have changed as a society when it comes to post-COVID programming and stuff like that.
All right. Thank you so much, Lauren. Anybody else want to share before we transition?
I also said if they could help get more time in the day added, so I have more time in the day, but nobody in my group wanted to help with that job. Like they didn't have any ideas for that. So, you know.
Well, if someone knows that, please share it with me as well. Yeah, Miss Stewart said yes, me too. All right. Well, we have Dr. Anna West here facilitating for us today our panel discussion where we will talk with educators about the best ways for youth serving organizations to partner with schools and educators. So I am going to now pass it to Dr. Anna West, who serves on the organizing, steering, and really all kinds of places in BRAYN. We're so happy to see you today, Anna. Thank you so much. I'll pass it to you.
It's great to be here today. Thank you so much, Jasmine. It's so good to see so many familiar faces and also to see some new faces. I am Anna West. I'm coming to you live right now from Tara High School, where Humanities Amped works. And so, I'm in the Humanities Amped Center here at Tara, and excited to have a conversation with some of our incredible school principals in our district about school community partnerships, about what they're doing in their schools, and about how we can help. That's a big part of what BRAYN does, is we bring community organizations together to figure out ways that we can work together, particularly with schools, because that's where young people are. So I understand that we have with us today the illustrious principal of Magnolia Woods, Ms. Watson. Ms. Watson, you're here. Y'all give it up for Ms. Watson. And let me see. We also have, do we have Ms. Howard here? Mrs. Howard, is she here? Yes. All right. The illustrious principal of Glasgow Middle School, where my niece, Ray Marie West, is a 8th grader. Hello, Mrs. Howard. It's great to see you. And Progress Elementary, Mrs. Stewart. Is Mrs. Stewart here? Hey there. Hi, Mrs. Stewart. It's wonderful to meet you and to see you as well. Please excuse the noise in the background. It's homecoming today, so they're on an activity schedule here at Tara. I'm sure you all understand. So let's start with this. We're going to start with Miss Watson and then Miss Howard and then Mrs. Stewart. We're like live and direct from a school. So let's just start with, tell us a little bit about who you are and tell us about your school. What are your brags? Let's start with your brags. So who are you, and give us some of your brags on your school. We want to hear what's really popping off at each of your schools. So we'll start with Ms. Watson.
All right, perfect. I get to go first. So hello, everyone. I'm Joy Watson, principal of Magnolia Woods. This is my 5th year as principal. So still super excited. Still have the high level energy to accomplish all my goals and achievements there. As far as Magnolia Woods, we are nestled in a great little community that no one really knows about us a whole lot. So it's kind of like a diamond in the rough, so to speak. Right now we have a plethora of opportunities for kiddos to kind of teach the whole child. We have Spanish we offer to 1st to 5th grade kiddos. We have band for 4th and 5th grade students. We also have a kids orchestra. We have Boys and Girls Club. I saw a representative on here already. We have a gifted resource where kiddos can get pulled out for those resources. So we have quite a few things going on at Magnolia Woods that we are really excited about, and we are really, really amped about our sports program. So we have we offer that to all of our kiddos, volleyball, soccer, track, and that's football, and and basketball. So, that's something that the district started, and we have definitely kind of jumped on board and ran with that. One thing I am super excited about is that we have what we call a 21st Century Grant, and it's for 5 years. So that allows kiddos to stay after school and get kind of like tutoring support, but also enrichment activities, and it provides transportation. So that really helped us out a lot, because last year we started and we noticed our focus last year was literacy. And so because of 21st Century, and then also kind of partnering with Boys and Girls Club, so they would partner with what we wanted as extension of the classroom. And because of all of that partnership, our scores in ELA went up on LEAP significantly, almost 10 plus points in ELA. So this year our focus is math, and I've already started the communication with Boys and Girls Club on how they can support us with that after school. And then that's also our focus this year with 21st Century. So, I don't want to brag all day. I could do that. I love my school, but we are a very great school. 30% of our kiddos are ESL Spanish speaking students. So we have a very big ESL population. But like I tell my families, my faculty, the best is yet to come. You haven't seen anything yet, so we're still a work in progress at Mag Woods.
Wow, that's very inspiring. Thank you so much. All right, let's pass it over to Mrs. Howard to brag on what's happening at Glasgow. I know a lot of good things are happening.
Hey y'all, good morning. I had to pop out of a meeting with the State Department. If anyone else principal wise has to be in that meeting too. All right, so my name is Erin Howard. I am the principal of the Glasgow Middle School. I've been the principal over here for 10 years. I love me some Gators. This is my 17th year in education, and I am still just as excited today as I was 17 years ago. So a little bit about Glasgow. We are the highest, see, bell ringing, because we're live here also from my office. A little thing about Glasgow, we are the highest performing traditional middle school in EBR. We are a B rated school by the State Department. We earned our B rating last year, and we are going to maintain that until they change the rating scale and it bumps up to an 80, and then the challenge is on again. We are also identified as a urgent intervention required school for subgroups, but I'm also happy to report that we are on track to exit that completely from the State Department. We were labeled a comeback campus last year by the State Department, so we are doing everything we possibly can here. That's the wrong clipboard. My assistant principal, if you can't see, is trying to sneak the lunch clipboard from behind me. It's underneath the possum, Miss Oliver. It's underneath the possum. Live from a school, y'all. We have all full spectrums of children, just like Joy said, because we actually feed from Magnolia Woods. So we're about 561 students. We take kids from literally every school in the district because we are a choice school. So students and parents can choice to come to us, which means we have everything from gifted to traditional to great scholars to self-contained autism to inclusion, ELL, you name it, we've got it. Okay, we can service anyone here because that's what we do. All right, I can brag and talk all day because I love absolutely everything that is here, and I love all the diversity here. Being so close to LSU, and Joy can kind of echo this, our population, you get so many different languages and you get so many different cultures, and they all come together, and initially they're like, where are you from? But they learn one another, and they learn what it means to work together in the real world. So shout out to some of my partners that I see here, Gardier Initiative, whoop whoop, Gardier. And then also Boys and Girls Club with Bobby, shout out to you. We've had a partnership with Gardier for years now. And then Boys and Girls Club joined us last year as well. And we love us some Diamond, who is our liaison between them. So shout out to you guys. Can't wait to hear what else we got.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Mrs. Howard. That's great to hear everything that's happening in Glasgow. And now let's hear from Progress's principal, Mrs. Stewart, to hear about all the wonderful things that are happening there at Progress.
All right, so I am here in the wonderful North. I'm coming from area code 70807. All right, so over here, we are a high needs, high stakes school, 99.9% free and reduced lunch. I don't have any specialized programs. I'm a regular old school, okay? But we are a regular old school that's performing. So over here at Progress, our main belief is, I really believe, and it's very simplistic when I tell people, I believe I need to focus on the safety of children. I need to make children feel loved, valued, and recognized. And because we've done a great job of doing that over the last couple of years of changing our culture, our students have performed. Our focus, like my colleagues, has been literacy and focusing on that. And I was really pleased. I got involved with Big Buddy about 3 years ago. I think it's my 3rd year. And they really helped us to achieve some of our goals. Some brags are that we are a Louisiana A+ school. We just started that partnership to include the arts at our school because, like I said, we don't have any specialized programs over here. We did, fortunately, thanks to Mr. Dorfion, we are offering band to my 4th and 5th grade students this year. We have Spanish. So I went out and got that too to expose my children. We also dibble and dabble in sports, not as much as Ms. Watson, but we dibble and dabble with those people who can get to stay, because getting people to stay is a little difficult, but we do the best we can. We did exit CIR. We are no longer a CIR school. We were a CIR school, so we're out of that. We exited out our subgroups, everything. We were able to come back campus on last year, and we were a TASC school, which meant we had problems with attendance. We have exited TASC. Never in the history of Progress have we not been a TASC school. So we are no longer a TASC school, and that's for students truancy, high truancy. So we made some strides. We have some strides to go, and this is my 10th year here at Progress, my 30th year in education, my 30th and final year in education. That's it.
No, don't leave us, Miss Stewart.
I gotta go.
Miss
Gotta
Stewart,
go.
we
understand.
can switch places, Miss Stewart.
There you go. We got new ones coming in. Well, look, we all understand. Maybe we don't fully understand, but deeply respect the
Yeah,
work.
15 years as a principal. 15 years as a principal. So my colleagues know.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
that is
y'all
incredible.
know what I'm saying. Gotta go.
You deserve some rest. I understand. Maybe I don't fully understand, really, but really, principals y'all are superheroes, really doing incredible work, and it's really exciting just to hear about all the great things happening on our different campuses. So for this next question, I'm going to turn a little bit more towards your partnerships, things that you're doing with community partners. Each of you touched on that a little bit. So we'll go Jasmine, I think we see your email screen share. Okay. We'll go in a different order this time. We'll start with Ms. Howard, and then we'll go to Ms. Stewart, and then Ms. Watson last. So for this one, just tell us a little bit more about what are the needs that your community partners are meeting? And are there some needs that other community partners could perhaps come in and help you with? And how would they go about doing that? We've got organizations at the table today, and this is also being recorded for the benefit of our 50+ BRAYN members to understand what are some ways that community partners who are interested in engaging with schools could come and support the work at your school. So kind of 2 parts. What's happening right now? What are the needs that community partners are meeting? And what are some other things that community partners could be doing at your schools to support? So Mrs. Howard, if you'd take it away.
Sure thing. So some of the needs that our community partners are currently meeting is, I've got, a lot of different community partners going on. I've got some who are actually embedded here in the school, such as Boys and Girls Club, where, my liaison Diamond, she's already here, or she was here earlier. She's here, she's checking in with the teachers, she's seeing the kids that come to the after school program. She's working with the teachers to understand what they might need. If a student, let's just say Joy, I'm picking on you. All right, Joy was a Boys and Girls Club kid and got in trouble. Okay, Diamond's going to find out about it and be like, hey, maybe that's something we can do in Boys and Girls Club that can kind of help out. They're giving these children opportunities they may not necessarily have in other things. They're taking them on field trips. They're exposing them to leaders. Well, we expose them to leadership opportunities, but they also reinforce those different opportunities. My Guardier Initiative group, they assist with parent communication, they're mentoring, they're tutoring in the neighborhoods. Like there's just different avenues going on. Another one of our partners is Front Yard Bikes, who does another thing off site where, you know, the students are working, they've got to have their behavior, they've got to have their academics in order for them to earn their different certificates and labels. Like, you know, Front Yard Bikes, they have their different little stickers and stuff that they have to earn. So there's different things that each community partner brings, and the way that we identify need is through conversation. Like when Mr. Bobby has an idea or something, or whenever I have an idea, like I'm going to go to Diamond and be like, hey, do you think we can collaborate on this? Hey, can you guys do the trunk or treat stop? Speaking of Garden Deer Initiative, if you guys want to do a trunk or treat stop, that's going to be on the 27th from 2:30 to 4. So there's just different communications that you have to keep open. So if a community partner wants to partner with a school, the first thing is reach out. Talk to a school, find the school in your area. Maybe reach out to schools that you don't necessarily hear about a lot of times, because like Joy kind of said, Magnolia Woods, Highland, even Wildwood to a certain extent, that's a whole row of 3 elementary schools on one street, Highland Road, nestled back in those neighborhoods. Even people don't know where I am. They're like, Glasgow Middle, where is that? Across from the old Lee High School. Oh, okay. So you don't hear, we've got so many schools in EBR, but you only hear about a couple of them. Okay. And a lot of times you don't necessarily know about the needs that a lot of the schools have because you've never even heard of the school. So do some research about the schools in your area, ride around, walk around. And then for me as a principal, I attend things that Guardian Initiative or I send a representative has. Boys and Girls Club, I'll meet with them. Dustin just left with Front Yard Bikes and he and I had a whole meeting about students. Why? Because they are invested in my kids. I am invested in my kids and I want to make sure that they are set up for success in whatever future track they decide to have. Okay. Did I answer everything?
You sure did. Thank you so much. That's
right.
Fabulous. Fabulous. All right, we're going to pass it over to you, Ms. Stewart.
She answered so well, I don't need to talk. But nevertheless, like I said, we basically had a great partnership with Big Buddy. What they have provided me was with funding to provide my students with tutoring year round. Up until this point, I was never able to offer tutoring, especially to my lower and foundational grades. I only had funding for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students. And by that point, by the time they get to 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, it's almost, I don't want to say it's too late, but it's a problem. So because of Big Buddy, I've been able to offer tutoring, homework assistance, and enrichment services to my kids the entire year round. When I say year round, all the way through the summer. We offer summer programs. The students are exposed to things they would normally not be exposed to. They get to be involved in STEM activities, although we do have a STEAM teacher this year at our school. They get involved in dance, they're learning music, they get to go on field trips, they get leadership opportunities, and also we kind of meet together and they know that my focus is literacy. So they kind of start an initiative with literacy circles and so forth to push forth with my students. And I actually did a whole presentation last year to show the increase of my school performance score. And it was actually, I think, due to Big Buddy, especially the students who went to Big Buddy. I tracked those students and their performance highly outweighed the other students. So I believe that those partnerships work. I agree with Ms. Howard about people just not knowing where schools are, knowing the needs. Nobody knows where progress is. And every time when they get here, they're amazed because they're like, is this a high school? Because when they finally see the building, they're like, oh my God, I had no idea. So kind of getting out there and finding out what we need. We do have a variety of needs, but I will say that my partnership with Big Buddy has been fabulous because they met my needs. And whenever I have a concern, whenever I have an issue, or ever there's something to be tweaked, because I am vocal, so those people that work with me know I'm going to be vocal about it, it is immediately addressed. So it has been a wonderful opportunity, and I want it to continue. And I would love for other community partners to join in on that.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Stewart. That's really, really encouraging, I think, for those of us who are so committed to school community partnerships, just to hear about the successes and the way that you all as principals are really helping to make them be successful. Ms. Watson, do you want to add your thoughts to the conversation?
So, you know, I mean, I have the same sentiments as my two colleagues there. Just a few things I would like to kind of extend on is just of course, having community partners get to know our site, of course, like what they said, but then also just because of the exposure for our kiddos. So when you think about that, I'm thinking more along the lines of like having, I know Aaron just mentioned something about a bike nonprofit. I've heard of it on the media, I believe, but that would be really cool for my kiddos to have something to that degree, because honestly, I don't know how many of my kids could actually ride a bike because they're so video tech savvy kids. So that would be pretty neat to have at Mag Woods. And then also just from me being on campus and just kind of listening, talking to children, you know, just even in 5th grade or 3rd grade, thinking about their futures and career choices, not many of them are aware of what's more, like what else can they do besides be like in the you know, music industry or in the NBA or whatever. So just having different individuals from different careers pathways come and actually talk to our kiddos at the elementary level, just to get that exposure. So by the time they get to, you know, Glasgow or, you know, high school, they'll have some thoughts or just kind of know that there's more than just, I could be a teacher, which is great, right, in education, but a lot of times that's all they know, teachers, and then like, you know, the artists and all that. And then also if we could possibly find some type of organization that could support us with transportation, like and you know, I know that I don't know how difficult that may be. Of course, East Baton Rouge Parish School, they provide the transportation as best as they can, right? But it is very limited. So I know if we could have some type of agency that could just transport kiddos, you know, certified, that's able to do that. I don't know if that's even a thing, but if it is a thing, I know at one point Boys and Girls Club had a little bus or a little van or something like that. They would take kiddos home, but you would definitely see an increase in students. And by increase in students, that gives you more kiddos are exposed to more opportunities, because, you know, they're limited because of the transportation.
Absolutely. We hear that. I think that it's interesting that you bring up transportation, because there's been a conversation brewing among BRAYN members about the transportation struggles that our community have. We certainly face them as community organizations on a very deep level, and how, because we are a network, you know, that represents many youth organizations, how could we band together to try to work on some solutions for transportation alongside schools? That, you know, I think that gives us even a little more push. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, just one more thing. Even with the transportation, I was just also thinking like, and I don't know about Aaron and Miss Stewart, but even for parents, right? Sometimes parents have limited transportation, even coming to parent-teacher conferences, or just coming to, you know, literacy night or whatever type of event. And so until I became principal, I didn't realize how like a big of a issue that really is. So it's not always the parents don't want to be involved. It's sometimes because they literally don't have the funds or the transportation to get to the school.
Yes, yes. So these are places where community organizations can help fill in some of the gaps. Let me just ask this question, and anybody can answer this. We'll just open it up. If I was a community organization that didn't have a relationship with you, and maybe speak for yourself, but also generally what you know about principal life, what's the best way to get in touch with you and to begin to build a relationship with a school where I don't have one already? What are some approaches that might be effective for community organizations? We know y'all are very busy. So
I
what's
would say
the best way in?
Mine's called Latrice Reshore. She's my secretary. She's like my right arm. So she'll take care of everything. Then she'll say, Ms. Watson, sit down. You have a meeting at 10 o'clock, and I'm there. So face-to-face for sure, but communicate with the secretary first, then we'll schedule a face-to-face. I would prefer that over a phone conference because my ADHD will kick in and I'll lose track. So face-to-face.
I'm the same. You're going to have to probably email and call me, and then I'm going to schedule to see you. So you're going to have to, it's 3 things. You're going to have to email me, and hopefully I'll read the email if I recognize it. I'll be honest with you, but also with a follow-up call, because if you do a follow-up call, then it's an email, and I'm like, okay, and then I'm going to talk to you, because I do answer I'm going to answer my calls, and then I'll say, I need you to stop by, because I'm like Ms. Watson, I prefer a face-to-face. I'm not going to be doing a call because I need to see you. So I prefer that.
And I'm much the same way. My email is my to-do list. So as I complete items, it gets filed. So right now I have 3 things in my email inbox right now, and those are things I haven't completed yet today. Don't drop by. We love to see people, but don't just drop by, because like I'm missing cafeteria duty right now, and I'm gonna start twitching in a second because what are they doing? Hopefully it's just eating, but you never know what you're gonna pull us from, and sometimes we don't mean to be short, but can't just drop in. We love volunteers, and if we know we have an appointment with you, it's completely different. But just dropping in, Miss Howard, you have a visitor in the front. Visitor? Why? So email set up.
Yeah.
I
want to
agree with
say that.
Yes.
I want to comment on Miss Erin Howard, because
Be nice, Dr. Harrison. Be
yeah,
nice.
you respond to those emails right away. I mean, Jefferson can come in and tell me Miss Howard did such and such a thing, and then I email her right then and she'll respond to it. But also I want to say that your ESL person has been wonderful. Brandy Payne, that's right. She is so good. And Miss Watson, I'm sorry I haven't been as available as we should be to you, but we thoroughly support Magnolia Woods.
Oh, absolutely, Dr. Harrison, without a doubt.
Awesome. Yes. Well, I think that piece of just getting through the door, is always figuring out how to set it up, because and we have to respect that principals are moving y'all. The fact that you're sitting down to talk to us today and take this time is incredible, and we thank you for it. So I think that's important for our community partners to hear, so that we can make those connections, right? We have a couple of questions that were submitted by BRAYN members, and so I want to move into a couple of those questions. The first one, so we've got about 3 questions left, and what we'll do this time is we can start with Ms. Stewart for this next one, and then we'll go to Ms. Watson, and then close out with Ms. Howard. So, we see a lot of trauma affected students in our school system, and there's been a lot of discourse in recent years about providing trauma informed learning environments, and I think that's something that's really a passion for many community organizations, because we're very centered typically on whole child development. And so the question is, what is happening from your perspective at your school to create a trauma-informed environment, and how can community partners be of assistance in that work with you?
Okay, so that's definitely a concern. My counselor has identified students who have really been through a lot of traumatic situations, and she sees them on a regular basis. But in addition to that, we're also a part of an organization over here in the North Baton Rouge area. We have social workers who are hired to just come to my school 2 days a week, and they work with identified students as well. Also, the staff is trained and they know some things that they may see. And then we also like to partner up. Every child has like a mentor, one of the staff members at the school. And when I say a mentor, it's just a person they can go to when something's not going right, or just to say hello, just to check in, a check-in situation. But Big Buddy has, especially this year, they started where they're doing SEL days with our students as well, to address those definite needs and those emotional needs. But we can always offer assistance with that. I just always want people to be careful to make sure that we're trained in that. And those persons that come in, they know how to address those situations and how to handle some of those students. Because I was just speaking to a situation that occurred the other day with a child, and I said that sometimes adults can actually aggravate the situation sometimes. So everybody has to be trained and know how to address those situations. But we always would love assistance with that. But that is definitely a focus over here. That was why I started off saying about safety and love, because I have a lot of students that have a lot of concerns and a lot of issues.
And as I hear that, what I'm thinking as from the perspective of BRAYN is that this is some work that we could perhaps do, is offer some training for, within our network on trauma-informed care, so that we can, perhaps increase the number of community members who are able to come in and do that. Thank you so much. All right, Ms. Watson.
So pretty much similar to Ms. Stewart, making sure, individuals come in are trained. And then also, we are fortunate to have a capital area that's on our campus. And so I have a social worker on my campus that supports kiddos, but she's only one. So her caseload is limited, because of the ratio. But if we could also kind of look at something and make I would kind of believe in the triangle effect, like the parents, the school, and the students, right? So we could have something or some type of agency that can kind of combine all three, because it's, we give the support to the kiddos, but at the end of the day, my kiddos are like from 5 to 10 years old. They still have to go home to their families. So it's important to me that we and I've even had parents to come to me, and I'm thinking we're the same age or I'm way older than you. And they're like, well, Ms. Watson, I don't know what to do with my kid. I don't know how to approach her or him whenever something happened, or they've all been in a traumatic experience, right? So I think if we could find someone that could kind of close that, amend that gap of, family helping, supporting the mom or the dad, and how to respond to the child. And then from that piece, we can come in and we can be a partnership with the family. So we could have some type of nonprofit that could support us in that space. I think that would be beneficial, because when they leave us, they still go back to the home life.
Yes, that's a powerful, powerful insight. Thank you so much for that. And I know we're listening. Yes.
I'd like to
go ahead, Dr. Harrison.
Ms. Watson said that they have a social worker from capital area, but unfortunately, so many of our students who don't have a social security number cannot be seen by those social workers. And so we are fortunate enough to have family services that are capable of seeing our students. Right now, we're trying to get them housed at Highland because we have a larger number of our students over there. But we would like to talk to you, Ms. Watson, and to Ms. Howard about how we can serve as part of that triangle that you're mentioning.
Dr. Harrison, like I also have I just know one particular student for sure, because she's coming from out of state, and she's not ESL or Hispanic, but she's coming from out of state, that no agency could pick her up because of her insurance is from another state. So I don't know if the family services you mentioned could support her in that, but that would be absolutely fantastic, because mom is seeking support, but it's just kind of like process getting paperwork to be changed to Louisiana.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can talk. We'll connect about that situation.
Great. All right, let's hear from Ms. Howard. What is this looking like from your perspective at Glasgow?
So I'm echoing both of my colleagues here as well. We have, through Our Lady of the Lake, Our Lady of Franciscan Missionary, the former Our Lady of the Lake, y'all know what I'm talking about. We have our own site school health clinic, and we do have a social worker. We do have 2 counselors as well. We utilize the Rethink Ed platform for SEL lessons, like many of the other EBR schools do. So our counselors have looked at the assessment data to, I guess, best case scenario is triage your tier 3 students, so that you can go ahead and start doing those small group interventions. And that's occurring daily with the different groups, so that students can have those supports. As a choice school, you are constantly receiving, new students to transition in that aren't used to our culture. They're coming from other schools where maybe they've had some, I'm not going to say bad cultures, but not the best of environments. So you're trying to get students acclimated to what a positive, safe culture is. And you get a little bit of pushback because we have rules. We have a lot of rules, but rules expectations, procedures, like these are things that are put in place to keep people safe. And you get a little bit of flack from that, but once you can buy into it, that's kind of where we're going. I don't know if y'all watched the board meeting last night, but Glasgow was mentioned as one of 3 schools that received the, it's called a Project SEED. It's socioeconomic economic development. It's a $13.2 million grant that we will be receiving along with Twin Oaks Elementary and Broadmoor High School. And part of that is a huge focus on exactly what we're talking about right here, which will be the whole child, the whole family. What can we put in place at Glasgow, at Twin Oaks, at Broadmoor High to make sure that students are going to be successful, not only here in academics, but they get all those services that they need to be productive future citizens. So we've got lots of great stuff coming up. I don't have all the details on that yet, but we're going to keep doing everything we can here to support the kids. And that work's being noticed. And that grant is from the U.S. Department of Education. So
Very good.
Rocking it.
Yes.
Rocking
Let's
it.
go. That's amazing. Yeah, that's the resources are there, you know, the coordination, that's the work that we all have to do, you know.
Finally,
get
the
those
resources are there. Finally, funding.
Finally. Right. Right. Well, once they've been fought for long and hard, I know. So congratulations. That's really encouraging to hear. We don't have a lot of time left. So what I want to do now is open up the floor for conversation, questions. I know that the people here are, you know, all passionate about this conversation. And so you can raise your hand or you can put something in the chat if you'd like to. But let's open up the floor for conversations about school community partnership, about what we're doing, what we can be doing, questions that we have about how to make it more effective, roadblocks perhaps that you're seeing. We know it's not perfect. It's a relationship. Ms. Gay and I talk all the time about we get called to the principal's office all the time as community partners to work it out, you know? And so, you know, it doesn't have to be all roses. Sometimes you know, these are real relationships and it can be messy. So what are some thoughts, questions, ideas that people want to bring to the table?
I'll go. Can you all speak to the benefit of BRAYN for schools? What we're trying to do is vet the partner and, you know, have them ready to work and have them ready to meet your needs. We know that that's a process. You all talked about, look, Aaron, Miss Howard's like, yep, I'll go. Yes, please, you go first.
It makes my life easier because, you know, we get a lot of people that do come in and want to support. And yes, I'm all about supporting kids. You want to come in because a lot of times the community doesn't know. And, you know, they hear all the bad things about, you know, the school system and the kids, but they get here and they're like, well, they're kids. Yes, they're not running around like, you know, doing crazy things. I was going to say something, but I'm not going to say that. They're not running around being all kind of crazy. But a lot of times whenever people want to partner, you know, we get all this set up and then it fizzles out. It goes away. They disappear. I can't contact them anymore. So having an agency to actually do the vetting for me and actually potentially, you know, match us up, you know, like a blind date kind of thing, where we see if this is a good fit or not, that is going to be very beneficial to me because it does save me some time and energy that I could be investing in other areas. And that's just me.
No, I agree with what Erin is saying. If it was something, you know how you have a list of your colleges and you select the college that you choose based on the, you know, if the all the great things that's happening on their campus. But if we could have something similar, just like, you know, we will want someone to come and see our campus, I would also like to get a kind of like a booklet or something with names and kind of description of organizations. And then, you know, also we can kind of figure out what works for our campus as well. So that would be pretty cool if we could have like a, even if it could be actually like a, like, you know, the River Center or something and all kind of, like, I'm doing too much right now, I'm sure, but at the River
I
Center,
was Joy. I was like, she wants a Tinder profile or like a Match.com so she can swipe. I see you, Joy.
Yeah, little booths you set up at the River Center, and, you know, they give a little flyer, so we'll have all that in one space. Maybe you know, when we have our principals meeting or something like that, that would be pretty neat for us to have that.
Definitely, definitely. I see Jasmine over there just smiling ear to ear because that you've given us our marching orders, Miss Watson.
I
Miss
also want
Stewart,
to
did you want
say, yeah, I want to say too, I agree with both of them. And making sure that you have a variety of people who work with a variety of diverse students. It's very important that you match the right people up with the right students. And that they've had the right training to understand students from different perspectives. That's something that you, from your perspective, from the way that you grew up, it might be a little bit different from the way that this particular child, and just to understand how to approach them. So I keep harping about training, but I believe training is very important when you are having programs or you're having people that are working with children and knowing how to address situations and so forth. Because Miss Gay will tell you this, I am very, I'm not anal, but I'm very particular about who's with my kids. So I think, like they said, if we had, if these people receive this training, they've worked with these students, they worked whatever, they had success, that would be very beneficial. We could look at that and know who to select in the future as well.
Right, cultural competency, cultural responsiveness, these are all areas that, all of our organizations need to, be focused on, working on. This is something that BRAYN can also be supporting in terms of training. And that is, because we, yeah, sometimes you put people in a room and it's not working, that those things need to be attended to. Miss Gay, do you want to say anything? I see you putting some good things in the chat.
No, I was just gonna say, I love Miss Stewart. Miss Stewart has also, she talks about what Big Buddy has done, but she has also helped to shape how we have become better, how we have been able to enhance our services. Like, we're not in the schools. That's, organizations aren't there. So we have to take direction from the principals, from the staff that work there. And her site invests time in us, in the children that they serve, and that comes out into better work. And that's, we also want to shout out our Highland principal as well. They invest the time in us to make us better for the young people, so everybody wins. So we are very thankful to you, Miss Stewart, for your work and support with us as well. But we love straightforward. She talks about being, voicey or whatever. I call that communication. It is good to be clear. She's very clear about what she wants. And you leave with nothing, to be figured out, so, and she'll let you know. But again, that's all about relationship building, because we've been called to the principal's office several times. Just want to say, but it's all good. And it brings back, for some of us, just, it brings back memories of being called to the principal's office, right? Nobody wants to go, but it always turns out well, and we are all better because of it. So we thank her for the partnership, and we look forward to leading how this work gets rolled out with other community school partnerships. I'm very excited about that rollout. So thank you.
I would like to
Absolutely.
give this one more shout out to Ms. Howard before she goes, is that we have been in this relationship for about 10 years. And so I really appreciate her. One of her students, Jefferson, comes in. He's the first student to come here in the afternoon. And so at the beginning, when he was a sixth grader, and he said, Miss Muriel, is Glasgow best middle school? And I said, why you ask that? He said, because my principal said so. I appreciate that kind of enthusiasm. And Jefferson comes in every day and lets me know what's going on at school. And I always contact her. Also, I would like to give a shout out to Ms. Watson. I appreciated her for the years that she had been at Magnolia Woods, and she has a dynamic pre-K person who we have worked with to try to recruit students to her program. And so I enjoy working with both of these principals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Ray Marie talks a lot about what's going on in Glasgow. I'll tell you that. We hear all about the great things there. So Mr. Bobby had his hand up, so let's hear from him.
Yeah, I would like to thank Miss Howard and Miss Watson, two of the principals that I have the chance to serve on a daily basis, for just joining us and sharing you guys' expertise. You guys, one thing I like to thank you guys about for just letting us be able to create and be able to be who we are. I've been in this thing for a while, and sometimes when you create those partnerships, it doesn't happen that way. And so just being, allowing us to be who we are, Boys and Girls Club. I know Miss Howard, I laugh because I don't send you emails. I know I pop into your school all the time, so I apologize for that. And I don't think I email Ms. Watson either. I just pop up too. I just show up there all the time. But they're excellent principals. I think Ms. Watson, we wanted to, work with her to create a garden for her school. And Miss Howard, we worked with her. Miss Howard let me take her students for 3 days, on out of town for a trip. Just that trust to be able to perform and show what we'll be able to do and the partnership. So I just thank you guys for working and partnering with us.
But Bobby, now I want a garden. If Joy has a garden, I want a garden. So
Miss Howard, actually, Miss Watson, you have a tower garden heading your way. We have a tower garden come to you, but we can work on that too. We can work on that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So go ahead, Ms. Watson.
Real quick, and I've already mentioned this before at another meeting to Miss Mack. She probably doesn't even remember, but when I was in 5th grade elementary school, Miss Mack, actually, she and others, they took me on my very first professional baseball game in Houston to see the Astros play. So that's something that I'll never forget. Very memorable moment. And so just wondering, Mr. Bobby, can we get our kiddos to go to maybe the NFL game or NLB game or something? Because, back way when, and I don't want to tell my age, but, they took me to that game and it was a time I'll never forget it. So
let's do it. I know we've done a couple, but we can do even more. I just got by you classic tickets the other day. We ready to roll.
We see what you're doing. You're getting big buddy of Boys and Girls Club to compete with each other here to offer the most trips. I also went to Houston with Big Buddy as a child, so I'll just throw that one in the ring. All right, we've got a question that Jasmine has put here in the chat, and I want to acknowledge that Gino is here from the district, and we are working closely with the district to set up some of these methods for how we really streamline the process. And so I want to kind of put you on alert, Mr. McLaughlin, that I'd love for you to say a few words from the district's perspective about what you see as the happening here with BRAYN in terms of our work. But first, let's ask this last question from Jasmine. We have organizations here who are new to partnering with schools. So what are some newbie mistakes that could create barriers for an organization? I think some of you have kind of touched a little bit on that. But what are some things that we might not see about ourselves that we might need to look at from your perspective? Anybody?
If an organization does not, I don't have this issue, but does not listen to the needs of the school and the principal or the leader, and it's a partnership, and then they just have their agenda, but they're not listening, I feel like we should all have a common goal. So I think it takes both collaboration.
I would also say biting off more than you can chew. Like, it's okay to start small. If you just want to start as like a reading buddy or even, small group tutoring multiplication facts, because, kids suck at fluency when it comes to math. Like they just it's okay to start small. It doesn't have to be this elaborate, we're going to change the world in 6 weeks, because it's not. Make sure it's data driven and that you've got a clear focus, but it's okay to start small.
Excellent. Yes, that's really, really good stuff to hear. I'm making notes here. We're gonna need to put together a one-pager based on this conversation. Any other thoughts on that question? And then I'm going to ask Gino if you're able to chime in and talk to us a little bit about what the district is doing to support the work of BRAYN. And we're over here planning a trip to Paris in the chat. I see you. I would like to also come, please.
We always got to one up each other. I'm a one up. I said, Miss Stewart,
right.
Go to Paris.
Yep, you could have what is her name at Glasgow who teaches French? The Madame Jalo. No,
Madame Jalo.
Yeah. Oh, I hear constant stories about her at our house. She can go with them.
She's still there. She's still
Girl, yeah, she is not allowed to retire. Not allowed.
wow.
Talk about fabulous French teacher, not allowed to retire. I jokingly tell her.
My niece is almost 30. I remember when she had
Right.
She's been here a hot minute, yeah.
Right. So Gino, are you able to chime in?
Yeah. Good morning, everybody. How you guys doing? Well, first, let me say thank you to both Principal Howard and also Principal Watson. Y'all might not know this, but all three of my kids actually came through both of those schools. My youngest is actually still a student at Glasgow right now, and she also takes French with Madame Jallo. So, yeah, just the whatever the word is, I certainly appreciate both of those principals and all the work that they're doing. Obviously, just from a personal perspective, my kids have come up through both, Boys and Girls Club, and seeing the work that they're doing over at Glasgow. I'm sorry, at Magnolia Woods, and I think they're also now at Glasgow this year. But with that being said, just from a district perspective, on behalf of Dr. Narcisse, BRAYN is really his baby. He doesn't get a chance to plug in as much as he would like, but it really is his baby. He really has an emphasis or sees the importance of making sure that all the youth serving organizations are coordinated through BRAYN, through this network, so that children and parents feel safe, so that we know that those volunteers and that those individuals that are serving in those organizations are trained, and there's a standard set. And also, I think to Principal Howard's point, making sure that those organizations, that there is some at least a bit of consistency throughout the years. We do see those orgs that will pop up, and certainly well-meaning, but they will fizzle out. And so I think BRAYN, being that front person for that, and all the wonderful people that we have on this call working to coordinate through BRAYN, will make sure that we can have a consistent face at all these schools. I think the last thing I'll say is that I know that there are a lot of organizations that are already signed up, but now part of my role is to ensure that others that might have been grandfathered in, right, understand that they need to go through BRAYN, right? They need to go through BRAYN. And so that's the work now, is to really just go in and grab all the organizations that are already doing wonderful work and make sure they're tied in through BRAYN. And so if you guys have any orgs that are on your campus that are not already BRAYN certified, please get them in touch with Jasmine or myself, and we'll make sure that they get the resources that they need.
Thank you so much, Gino. It means the world to have that support and have that shared vision. I think this is a really precious moment, that we're really working hard to act on and make sure that we really get this set up for Baton Rouge, because we just haven't had this kind of coordination of resources before. So we're really appreciative of the district and the leadership there. I want to just say thank you. Thank you so much for your time today, for your insight, for your wisdom, and for your service to children. Thank you so much, Ms. Watson, Ms. Howard, and Ms. Stewart. You all are exemplars of what it is to be a great principal and really pull in all the resources that you can for your students. And we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to you, Jasmine.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. So we are going to start our BRAYN announcements. Principals, I know that you all have busy days, so you are welcome to disconnect. I will be contacting you individually to see if there are additional needs that your schools have, because I heard some things today that I didn't know. So I'll contact you sometime next week. Thank you. Y'all have a great weekend. For the rest of participants at the convening, I am going to share my screen to start our BRAYN announcements. Our first announcement has to do with sharing and submitting event flyers or communications about what you have going on. You can now go to our website, ourbrayn.org, and you don't even have to log in to submit an event to our website. So when you go there, you just scroll all the way down, and you'll see here our event calendar. You will click submit an event and put in the information. For the highest level of visibility, it would be wise to add a link to a flyer. PNG is preferred, but I think JPEG is acceptable as well. And then you'll click check and submit. What happens from there is it is sent to me and I approve it, just to make sure that what is going on the website has to do with the youth development field. You can do that at any time. That way, instead of sending it to admin at our BRAYN, it will go up on the calendar almost immediately. Our next announcement has to do with Lights On After School. It's a highly successful national campaign for after school and out of school time programs. You may be aware that Kids Orchestra will have the LSU Stadium, the state capitol, and the governor's mansion lit up in celebration of Lights On After School. Please let us know what you are doing for Lights On After School. And if you are celebrating, go to the After School Alliance's website and submit your events. They want to know what's going on around the United States. Our November convening takes place on the third Friday of most months. So our next one is on Friday, November 17th from 10 to 11:30. Be on the lookout for that invitation and announcement in the newsletter. I want to take a moment to thank the convening working group for taking their commitment so seriously. I have such a great time with you all and appreciate you so much. BRAYN is hiring. Forrest is dropping a link in the chat right now to the job description. We are currently seeking to hire a salaried program manager to start working immediately. The full description can be found using that link. Please share it with those who you think would be qualified. The last thing, yes.
Oh, can I interrupt you? I want to say something about that job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. I want to sell it. I want to sell it because I think it's a really cool job.
Yes.
Please, y'all don't leave your jobs to apply for this job because then that would be bad. But you find the person. Help us find the person that's right for it. Particularly, what this person will be doing is helping to coordinate our resources and really make that a stronger part of what BRAYN does. So all of those ideas that just kept coming up about, like, we need to have trainings, trauma-informed trainings, cultural responsive trainings, those kinds of pieces. We don't have the capacity right now to do that because, Jasmine, as amazing as she is, she literally can't do everything. And so we now have the funding to get another full-time person who can really work with resource coordination and also work with school community partnerships. And as you can see, we've really are getting the steam to do that right now. I think the stars are truly aligning, between districts, schools, and BRAYN, and we just need more boots on the ground to help structure that and make that strong. So this is a pretty cool job, pretty important job. So please put your feelers out and share that. And many of you probably already have, but it's a good one. All right, Jasmine, that's all.
Yeah, no, thank you for highlighting that and elevating that description. And I want to say, like, I'm just looking forward to whoever that person is. I love to have fun while we work hard, so let's go. I do want to take a moment also to celebrate our members. This is our last announcement. And I want to start with the Walls Project, congratulating them. They are amazing members of BRAYN. And I know so many organizations are doing great things in the community. So like Anna was saying, working on the coordination of, how we're going to highlight what everybody is doing. Right now, my capacity for today is for 3, but, shout out to everybody. But the Walls Project, continues to transform Baton Rouge. They received a $6 million grant from the U.S. Forest Services, and it will launch an agroforestry apprenticeship program. This grant is part of a $1.5 billion U.S. Department of Agriculture allotment from the Federal Inflation Reduction Act to promote urban and community forestry. Fantastic, and congratulations on behalf of BRAYN to the Walls Project. I personally love trees, particularly playing in the forest. However, this is so much more, y'all, than just planting trees in Baton Rouge. It's a paid workforce training that will do several things for our community. It'll pay people for their labor, create green infrastructure, alleviate some of this heat. Can you believe that? And absorb storm water and conserve energy. In the newsletter, I'll be sharing an interview where SK Grow discusses the program in full. So stay tuned for that. I can go on and on. But right now, I'm going to shift and celebrate two other members. Dr. Harrison. Dr. Harrison, I've told you over and over that I want to be like you when I grow up. You are fair, honest, consistent, caring, and most of all, accountable. And I admire those qualities so much. I appreciate being able to work alongside you to build BRAYN. The Blue Cross Blue Shield Foundation also thinks highly of her and the work she's doing at the Guardian Initiative. So the Guardian Initiative was awarded $25,000 because Dr. Harrison is an extraordinary person doing extraordinary work in the Guardian community. Dr. Harrison, thank you for being an inspiration to me and the community. Congratulations. And then last but not least is BRIC. The Baton Rouge Youth Coalition launched its first satellite site, and it opening in Iberville Parish. BRIC teamed with Dow, the Iberville Parish School Board, and YMCA to launch a satellite campus in Addis, Louisiana. This is huge and should be celebrated. Expansion is challenging, so we celebrate and send well wishes to BRIC for this great accomplishment. Congratulations. And if there is anybody else that we need to celebrate and highlight, you can start that now while we talk about what's going on in the community. So I will give the floor to participants. Please let us know what's going on and who you want to celebrate, if any.
I'll go. I'm Patrick Tuck, now with the Walls Project. I'm so excited after years of being on the edges of all that. And that huge win, written before I started, is incredible. And I'm looking forward to continuing to contribute to all that success and meaningful work. JoltCon is tomorrow at Southern. We have 57 students at the September JoltCon, and we're expecting to have as many or more. Students will be saving the world using technology. I'm excited about that. We'll have 2 spring events coming up that will be focused on entrepreneurship. Yeah, really, the September event went really, really well. We're really excited. Culture Club, we're now running Culture Club as an enrichment addition to Urban League's program at Scotlandville. We're there Wednesdays right now. We're starting small and getting it right and then expanding. The theme from today. We've got our all after school end of year campaign. Will start next week. Brochure is ready to go out. So I'll start mailing to donors and reaching out for individual meetings and those kinds of things. Let's see. So Good Saturday. We're still it'll be the first Saturday of November, obviously. So Good Saturdays are running the first Saturdays of every month at Howell Park at our Baton Rouge Community Farm. You just told us about the USDA forestry grant. So that's that. Yeah, that's all. I think that's all I have right now.
Thank you, Patrick. That's amazing. The first, I may be the only one who doesn't know, but the first one that did you say Jolt this weekend?
Jolt. Yeah, JoltCon. Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
kind of a combination of a couple of things that we've done in the past, a hackathon event. So we've combined the events that we do at Southern, and we're doing them 4 times a year. And we pair 2 events together. So both fall JoltCons focus on the one thing about using technology to save the world. Both spring events will focus on entrepreneurship for youth. And that was as a result of surveying the youth while they were at the September JoltCon. So we use the youth voice to make sure that we're giving them the things that they want at those events. And they're held at Southern University.
That's amazing. That's amazing. My wheels are spinning. I think my son needs to volunteer for the first one. I'm gonna ask him if he can put it on his schedule, because that's his field, technology.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing. Miss Butler. Oh, okay. It says Hollins. No, but that's Miss Butler. Wait, is that you, Andrea, or is that Miss Butler? Because I know you all have a lot going on in the community, and y'all, if we want to like cheer them on and give them a hand, they are in the process of becoming certified. So want to highlight and celebrate that. Thank you so much. But I get your emails all the time, so I know that you all have a lot going on in October. Did you want to come on and tell us about that before we close out? Sorry, I don't know if it's you, Miss Butler, or Andrea.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Yes, good morning, everyone. Thank you for the highlight, Miss Jasmine. But yes, we are, I'm sharing my screen, but we are doing a camp, actually starts next week in Ascension Parish in Donaldsonville. So we will be in Ascension for the next 4 weeks doing our performing arts program. And so we are very excited to come aboard and be a part of BRAYN moving forward. So we're excited, and thank you all for all the great information that you provided. Thank you for the claps. For the information that you provided moving forward, what to be aware of, and definitely just being a part of this great cohort and working with everyone, and just everything that BRAYN has done moving forward to just work with the school system and then just all of the vendors and participants. So we just want to say thank you to everyone, and we look forward to a wonderful partnership moving forward.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you so much. Gino, did you have your hand up or were you clapping? I do that sometimes where I mean
it was both, actually. It was both.
Right.
Obviously happy to have Andrea in their organization on. But I just wanted, before you guys wrap, just to also make you aware of and invite everyone on this call to a series of listening sessions, community town halls that the district is doing from now pretty much up until the holiday break. And so we'll be at Bel Air. We did Glen Oaks on Monday. We'll do Bel Air on Tuesday the 24th. I think Woodlawn's November 1st. And then we have a number of different schools, including Glasgow, I think on the 6th, I believe, Scotlandville and Jefferson Terrace, a whole bunch of different schools. It's not school-based, it actually is district-wide. And so if any of those dates fit for any of your schedule, and you guys would like to lift up some of the work that you're doing, but also ask questions to Dr. Narcisse directly. But more importantly, also provide feedback and also solutions to things that you feel like need to be addressed in the district. This is an opportunity. It's an open door policy. So if you live closer to one of those schools, or if a date works, for you, you don't have to have a student or be involved at that particular school. It's really just trying to find as many schools as possible to open up the door so that we can reach as many people as possible. And so, Jasmine, I'll share that flyer with you directly, and you can also post it in your newsletter.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, well, with that, we are at a time where we say goodbye for now. This has been fantastic, and I hope it's been helpful for our members. Please continue to share the message about BRAYN. It is definitely, a place for inclusivity of all youth organizations that are working to develop the youth, to help them thrive. So please share. And if you have questions, or especially when it comes to the training, that I made a lot of notes. I took a lot of notes around that. So if there are questions, please reach out to me so that I can get that discussion going at the steering committee level. So if there is nothing else, anybody have any additional comments? If not, we will say goodbye for now, and I will see you soon. Have a great weekend and play in some trees.